Hey guys, and welcome to episode 63 of the Pixel Street Podcast, where this week we are completely dedicated to our 2019 E3 predictions and wish list. You can find the Pixel Street Podcast on most podcasts. I can't talk. You can find the podcast on most podcast platforms on Fridays, as well as on YouTube. You can now watch the show directly on our Facebook group by searching for Pixel Street Podcast over there. And we enjoyed having new people follow our content, and we hope to keep you around. With that in mind, we have decided to run another giveaway on our Twitter. Go over to @Pixel Street Pod, give us a follow there. We're almost halfway to 100 followers. Once we get closer to that number, we will really start discussing what we're giving away, but at the moment we don't know. As I said earlier, this week's show is wholly dedicated to E3 2019, what we think we'll see, what we want to see, all the good stuff that goes along with that. I am your host today, John Hansen, joined by the man who has limped his way from death twice in the last couple weeks, Joel Campos. How's it going, Joel?
Been better. I can kind of walk, but kind of can't at the same time, so it's fun.
All right. And we are also joined by the man who doesn't know what on in 10 minutes means, Connor Kopp. How's it going, Connor?
You know, that's a pretty accurate description if you ask my fiance. I will claim plausible deniability and say I know nothing.
All right. So before we jump into here really quick, can we just all agree that the Microsoft conference is the big one this year? Like, this is the one we're most excited for?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's certainly the one to watch. We'll probably get the most news out of there.
I mean, it's easy to say that that is the one that we can expect to see the biggest things out of. They have the most to gain out of this. No Sony being there means more third parties are going to be over with them. So
yeah, and also I think the most important thing is that it's not on like a Monday at 9 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's on the actual weekend.
Yeah, it's Sunday. Oh, I actually have it pulled up here. Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 3 p.m. Central time. Or is it? Yeah, that's 3 p.m. Central time for us. That's just great timing. It's not like this Pokemon Direct that's coming up this week. That is this Wednesday at 9 a.m. our time, which is stupid. But whatever. Before we go into that, what conferences are you guys like least excited for?
Least excited for me is maybe Ubisoft.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, because I'm looking at my list of predictions here, and I literally have it blank. I have no expectations.
Oh, damn. How about
you,
John?
To be honest, when it comes to the press conferences, E3 as a whole just gets me super excited and giddy, so I'm excited to see everything, but if I had to say one that I expect to care about the least, probably gonna go with Square Enix. I just feel like they probably don't have a strong offering this year. Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy VII seems like the only thread hanging on.
Avengers.
That's fair. Okay, Avengers. So that's one thing. Still not enough to redeem them.
I'm not gonna lie. Avengers is about. Well, okay. There's another thing on there that I'm excited for, but Avengers is definitely the big reason for me. If we're not counting the PC and Devolver ones, because there will be something in there, but probably nothing. But if I would say from the list we're going to talk about today, Bethesda is probably my least excited for this year. I just don't know what they really have to show. I mean, they're going to talk about Rage 2 probably. I really don't have much interest in that. Fallout 76 I have no interest in. The Wolfenstein co-op game, okay, that's cool, but again, maybe I'll pick that up at some time when it's on sale or something.
When it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. Even though we know Elder Scrolls and Starfield aren't going to be there, I've never liked Elder Scrolls, and Starfield I have to see more of to care for. So there's just not really anything there that has me especially hyped. I'm going to watch it regardless and everything, but still.
You know, to be honest with you, I think I'm going to retcon my choice, and I'm going to go with EA instead. If it weren't for Star Wars, then I probably wouldn't even watch the EA press conference.
That is really fair. But speaking of EA, that is actually our first topic up today. So EA this year, they actually are not running their own conference. They are doing what they're calling the EA Play live stream. that goes from Sunday essentially all day, and then I think it carries over, or I mean, it starts Saturday, and I think it carries over into Sunday. The games that they have announced on their schedule so far have been Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Apex Season 2, The Sims 4, Madden 20, FIFA 20. That is all they have said is going to be appearing in their live streams.
Battlefield 5 is going to be there as well.
Oh, you're right. Battlefield 5 as well. So we know that is there. There's always the chance. All of these predictions and wish listing, I'm going to allow them being carried over into other conferences. Just anything that has to do with E3, we are counting here, okay? So, Joel, what is your first prediction for anything EA at this year's?
Like anything, it could be games that aren't even included in that list of what they said is going to be there.
Yes, it could be like a surprise announcement, Skate 4 or whatever.
I mean, let's not jump to conclusions here, John. But yeah, I don't know. I think that we're going to see some gameplay from Star Wars, personally. I mean, we have to, right?
Yeah, that's a safe prediction. I think they go really hard into it, really. Although, with it being such a focused single-player game, really, I am afraid that they might show too much. But, go on. What else do you want? I mean, like, with that Star Wars stuff, what do you want to see from Star Wars?
I don't know, just kind of what it is. Because, like, right now we know it, like, in my opinion, as a Star Wars fan, like, the premise behind it is pretty cool. You know, you have what is he, somebody who went through the Jedi training and just kind of escaped when they were trying to kill all the Jedi. From Order 66?
Yeah, in Episode 3, when Palpatine ordered 66 on all the Jedis.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so, like, the premise is pretty cool, and, like, what we have seen of cutscenes and stuff seems interesting, but none of that really means anything unless the gameplay and, you know, whatever RPG aspect there is to it, you know, are actually worth playing.
Yeah, and Respawn, I mean, have they said there are RPG elements or anything in it yet?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want to see.
I got you.
Is if there are, I would like to know that, you know?
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if this, like, has a really big Titanfall 2 vibe without a Titan. Like, you can, like, run on walls and everything, stuff like that, because that is areas where they excel in Titanfall. And, well, I guess kind of Apex, the, like, whole movement system they have in there. I could definitely see them carry over some of those kind of things. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the big one for me as well. I really just want to see some gameplay on it, but not to step over in Joel's territory, I'll kind of pull off in the other direction here. I really want to see what Apex pulls out for Season 2. I think their first season was kind of lackluster with the fans. I think people just kind of hopped off the train pretty quick due to lack of content when you have games like Fortnite that add new skins every single week, sometimes every other day. You know, it's definitely an egregious schedule, but when there's other people out there doing that, that becomes the expectation in the industry. And I think they've got to really go big with Season 2 here, and I really want to see what that shakes out.
Yeah, that is really interesting, because on one hand, you've got Vince Zampella saying, hey, we're not going to overwork our workers here. We don't have as big of a studio as Epic Games. We can't do that daily, weekly content thing. We're just going to focus on the season thing, which you're like, okay, cool. Take care of your workers. That's great. That's awesome. But then you have this other side here where you're mentioning, like, people fall off because it is the same game over and over again. They're not changing up the map or anything. They're not introducing new skins. They're not bringing in anything on a weekly way of just bringing people back to the game. It's just kind of floating in the water right now, and it has been for the last couple months after it just launched to, like, huge numbers in February. It's just kind of weird to see it just not do anything when many were considering it like the biggest game in the industry for a good solid month there, right?
Yeah, it does seem like they're pretty they're preparing to ramp up in a pretty heavy way. I don't know if you've been following on Twitter and whatnot, but their social medias have actually been teasing new skins and whatnot for the next Battle Pass. Mm-hmm. Or challenges. I've seen them mention that a few times, so I wonder if there's a little bit of a challenge system introduced here. Those skins that they've showed off are super, super cool, and they're kind of exactly what I want. But I wonder if they kind of go a little bit further, and you would think they would have to at this point. The Battle Pass clearly just wasn't enough with a lack of content. Not to keep making the Fortnite comparison, but they change their map up all the time in order to keep things from feeling stale, and that's something that Respawn has teased. So I wonder if we get a huge event of some sort here that is map changing or kind of changes the experience in a fundamental way. So,
well, with all these teases, do you think that this is something that could be like, and it's available in 2 hours?
Yeah, absolutely. The way they handled the launch of Apex in general, I think that's a no-brainer for them. And I honestly think it was so successful for them the first time because people didn't have time to kind of make any snap judgments, and word didn't get out really about it, which worked in their favor considering the industry is kind of in a negative place lately. People are kind of looking for things to hate, and
especially anything connected to EA.
Absolutely. So I think that's an absolute safe bet.
Yeah. So besides skins and challenges, do you think we get a new character?
I bet they tease one. I bet it's a while before we actually see it in action.
Okay. So I'm going to go there with my prediction. I'm saying we're getting a new character for Apex available later that day. I don't know what, don't know who. We just know it's going to be connected to the Titanfall universe somehow. I also think they say like, hey, they lay out like a ton of the new Battle Pass stuff. I don't think they make up anything to change the current map. I think they introduce a new map as well. I think they go the PUBG route here, where they're every now and then they just put out a new map.
Interesting.
Question about the new character. Do you think that the new character is going to be tied with the next season? Like, do you think that it'll be like a like every season we're going to get a new character type deal?
I think that would work very well for them because
I agree.
Because it just wouldn't. So if you compare that with Overwatch always has this schedule where it's 3 heroes a year. We always know around what time of year we're getting one, and it's cool. Everyone can build up hype for that. So if they have that kind of schedule with their seasons, okay, the end of the season coming, with a new season coming, we can expect a new hero, or at least a tease for a new hero. That can really build up hype to keep going into the next season. That's just extra hype besides skins and maybe a map change or something like that. So if they can pull that off, that'd be awesome. I don't know if that's an every season thing, but that would be really cool for them. Okay, so Joel, what's your second prediction for EA?
I think that we're going to see or hear something about whatever's next for Titanfall. Just because Vince Zampella did say that there would be more Titanfall this year, not associated with Apex. So I'm interested in it. He said it would be this year, so it's got to be at E3, right?
Yeah. One thing that I wonder about that, though, because I thought I saw... Okay, yeah, here, hold up. I'm pulling this up right now, because earlier this year... who was it? Oh, never mind. That's got to do with Apex. I thought I saw something somewhere that it was being delayed or something because Respawn is making Star Wars, which is coming out this fall, and they're working on Apex. You got to figure that while they did say that Titanfall is coming, I kind of wonder if maybe it's something like a side game, you know what I'm talking about? You know how with Dishonored 2, a little bit afterwards, Dishonored, it was like a side game, like a not full release game. I could see something like that Titanfall releasing, or maybe...
So are you saying like a Halo 3 ODST type thing?
Exactly.
Or just a small campaign on the side?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I could see something like that, because I just can't see them releasing Titanfall 3 in a year that they focus so hard on Apex as well as a Star Wars franchise. There's just not enough time there for them, really.
Yeah, I think that it'd be extremely worrying if they did announce a Titanfall 3 coming out this year as well. Because then you would just think like, all right, well, which game's going to lack? Is it going to be Titanfall 3 or is it going to be Star Wars? Because
Yeah.
that just seems like they would stretch themselves way too thin.
And then also you have the whole problem with that EA did to them with Titanfall 2, where if they release anywhere close to each other, they are literally competing with themselves there. And that's just not good. We saw that with Titanfall 2, which was a great game, but sold really badly because it was competing with Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that we do hear something about Titanfall, whether it's a splash screen or I don't know. I read an article earlier that said like, hey, maybe it's a Titanfall themed toaster.
Yeah. I mean, we have Cuphead come into Tesla cars. Anything is possible, right?
Anything is possible.
All right, Connor, what's your second prediction for EA?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that we hear about a new Need for Speed.
You're right. All right. I'm actually going to piggyback off of you here that I've got the same prediction as well. So go ahead. What do you think we get?
Yeah, sure. So the
Need for
previous
Speed
title,
Underground 3. Let's
oh
go.
man, no, give me a Most Wanted, not the 2012 Most Wanted, the original Most Wanted. I would even take a remaster at this point. Need for Speed Payback released in 2017, which puts us 2 years out from that. We know that EA has kind of switched to a bi-yearly cycle, as has most of the industry for their major releases, except for Call of Duty. But that being said, I just looking at this schedule for their whole press conference, and I know it's not really a press conference; it's more of just a play event. I can't imagine we don't hear some kind of tease, maybe not even a full reveal. But hey, we're making a Need for Speed or something small like that. So I'd like to see it personally.
Yeah, no, like I said, that was actually my second prediction as well. Need for Speed is it's too iconic of a racing franchise to just go away for a while, really, I think. And also, we're talking about EA here. They're going to keep turning stuff out regardless if we want it or not. I would love an Underground 3. I loved those games back on the PS2 back in the day. I don't think we do see that, though. It's probably something new. But we can put a pretty good guess on that it's not going to be online only, because that Need for Speed reboot, or whatever you want to call it, from a few years ago, that didn't go over too well.
I think Dumpster Fire more accurately describes that one.
Yeah,
I think this would be a great year for them to release a Need for Speed, just because there are rumors that there's going to be no Forza this year.
Yeah,
that would be.
Yep.
So that'll leave a huge hole for people who are looking for a new racing game.
And with there being no Forza, that could be something we see at the Microsoft conference. I mean, there's no Sony, and EA and Microsoft have shown in the past that they have a good relationship. There could just be a reveal trailer shown off at the Xbox one.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah. All right, Joel, what is your wish list item? What
fucking Skate 4?
Oh
John.
boy.
We're going there.
This
he
is
got
the
the
year.
Is
I
it?
mean, we already have Session, which I think we're going to see at Microsoft, but that's not one of my Microsoft predictions. But we saw that at Microsoft last year. But Skate 4, that would blow the roof. It would blow everybody's mind.
Yeah.
Everybody's been asking for it. Every EA tweet you see, all you see is people posting like, "Where's Skate 4? Where's Skate 4?" Everybody wants it.
Okay, I got a question for you, Joel. If so let's say EA announces Skate 4, Ubisoft announces the next Splinter Cell game. What game is more hype?
Skate 4.
Easily?
For me, yes.
Okay, all right. Because, I mean, skate games... I'm just saying, skate games in general, not just the skate games, like Tony Hawk included. They had their thing back in the day, but I just don't know. I guess I haven't seen a good skate game in so long that I'm just not too confident on the fact that I want to play one. But hey,
I mean, arguably the last good skate game or skateboarding video game would be Skate 3, and that was 9 years ago in 2010.
Right? Because that Tony Hawk 5. Oh boy, that was some garbage.
I didn't even think about playing it. All I saw is that was the one with Lil Wayne in it, right?
I'm not sure, but oh my god, it was bad. It was really bad. All right, Connor, what is your wish list for EA?
Oh man, if I had to wish for anything from EA Play, I would just wish for them to talk about fucking Anthem. That is it. That is the whole thing. Just talk about it. Tell us what the hell's going on. At this point, it's frustrating. We're going on nearly a month of silence. Granted, they did have a small live stream the other day, along with a small update patch that popped out. But I just want to get a better idea of what their long-term plans are. Or, honestly, if not that, my absolute number one is Dragon Age 4.
Okay. It was announced at Game Awards.
Yep. We have heard some rumblings that the production on that has been a little bit rocky, and they've maybe rebooted it already. So it might be a little bit before we see that, but I think at this point EA kind of needs to show some kind of cards if they're not willing to kind of talk about the things that they've botched, just to kind of bring them back in good graces, you know.
Oh yeah.
So that's my big one.
Yeah, and not just EA, but BioWare in general, right? Because, I mean, they're coming off Anthem, which, let's face it, there's no doubt that it's been a disappointment so far. And then before that, even though I know it wasn't, like, the main BioWare office, but Mass Effect Andromeda didn't leave too many good impressions. So there's a lot of room there for BioWare to really get in some good people's graces again.
Definitely. And you got to wonder how much of that comes down to BioWare not being the BioWare we used to know, or EA just being some kind of scummy overlord. You know, it's kind of hard to separate the two. So I think as we progress over time, that definition will be a little clearer, but interested to see how it shakes out.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, we have the
Hold
big
on, John,
one.
what's yours? What's yours?
Mine. I want a new Joseph Fares game. He made Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, and A Way Out, and I absolutely love both of those games. I want another Way Out. I want A Way Out too, because that game was brilliant.
Yeah, me and you played that together.
Yeah, I loved it. And I would kill for another one. And I also want him to tell the Oscars to fuck off again.
That guy is something else, man. Absolutely something else, and I love every second of it.
Oh yeah, anything coming from him is gold, I believe. Okay, so moving on, we have the big one, the Xbox conference. This is happening Sunday, June 9th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So far, what we know from this is we are going to hear something about xCloud, which is the streaming service. We are also going to see 14 Game Pass studios, or not Game Pass, 14 Xbox Game Studios games here. Phil Spencer has already said that. Earlier today on Facebook, Xbox was advertising that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will show up at their conference as well. We've heard a lot of little things. That 14 games announcement is a big one, especially for Microsoft. But there's been like a little bit of tiny announcements. So we've also recently the Game Pass for PC was announced. We could potentially see something there. There's just a lot for Microsoft to show. So let's get right into this. Joel, what's your first prediction for the Xbox conference?
First prediction for me would have to be just, the new hardware, Xbox Scarlet. I think they're going to break that down and kind of say what each one is. What is it? Anaconda versus
Scarlet.
No, I think Scarlet's for the whole family.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Scarlet's like the umbrella. It's Anaconda and I just wrote an article about this.
Gotcha. But there's a smaller priced one and a more beefier one. Pretty much considering exactly. You're pretty much taking the Xbox One S to the Xbox One X, essentially, in the next generation.
Yeah, I think they're going to break each one down. Maybe not spec-wise or price-wise, but they're going to kind of tell you what you can expect from each one in terms of power, maybe. Yeah, Lockhart, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I definitely I think this is something they end the show on. I don't think we see a lot of it, and I don't think we see a box. I could really see something like they did when
with the X.
Yeah, when the X was first announced, when it was just called Project Scorpio back then, where they just played a video with developers talking about what it could do and everything. And I could definitely see something like that happening again.
Yeah, they're going to talk about how many flops they have, how many more flops they have than everybody else,
Yeah,
you know?
And with them having such a big emphasis on streaming now, we're definitely going to hear some talk about what that means with this new console, and also just what with Sony making such a big deal about reload or loading times, maybe we see something about that as well. Okay, Connor, what's your first prediction?
My prediction is that we're going to see a whole lot of first-party teases and a whole lot of lack of dates. I think we're going to see a lot coming out of the acquisitions that Microsoft's been making over the past, year or 2 years at this point. I mean, they've bought up a ton of studios, some absolutely premium talent. There has to be something that some of these studios are ready to talk about, even if it's just splash screens or, maybe a title screen for franchises that we've already seen, aka Fable 4, maybe, question mark. But as far as that goes, I think that's really all we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get dates on this stuff, maybe some release windows, but I really don't think that they're going to go too in-depth with many of their first-party titles, which is a bummer, considering how many they're touting having this year. They're really going out there and saying that they've got a huge offering, but I just don't see them putting dates out there.
All right,
I do think that all those games that they're going to show will eventually come out, because I think Microsoft learned their lesson in the past. Because I'm currently reading an article about like the past 10 years of Microsoft first-party games, and there have been way more than you would think games that have either come out and then failed right away and been taken off the servers, or games that just didn't even show up.
Yeah, I mean, Scalebound comes to mind. There are other companies in the industry that have had the same exact trouble, so I think you're right on the nose there.
All right, I got an over-under for you guys, okay? So let's say by the end of March 2020, which would be the end of the fiscal year for these guys, do you think we get over or under 3 Microsoft games releasing?
Over.
Over? All right, what about you, Connor?
Are you talking first-party studio?
Yeah, an Xbox game studio game releasing, not just being announced.
Before March of next year, so end of fiscal.
Yep.
I could name 2 that'll be out by then.
Yeah, I'm going to say over, but it's not going to be far over. I mean, 3 or 4 tops.
So, because I can already tell you, we got Gears 5 coming this fall. I think that Gears Pop it will probably release
I wasn't counting Pop.
I mean, that's a first-party game. And Gears Tactics. Just 3 Gears games alone in the next year.
Okay, whatever. No, I was going to go over 2 anyway, but I was only counting the Gears games as like one entity, because I'll just go right into my first prediction here. I think Halo Infinite releases next spring, and I think we see quite a bit on it, but not a ton. Okay, so I think they start off with a really big story trailer. They really explain why this is kind of a reboot of the series and why it's a step forward and just what is going on here. Because Halo 5, by far the worst story in the series. Awesome multiplayer, but that campaign was pretty bad, and they know it, and everyone has let them know it. I think we get a big surprise because everyone's kind of expecting Halo Infinite to be a next-gen title, maybe coming next fall and everything. I think they surprise us, and I think they try and bring it this year. Or not this year, this spring coming up.
And it's available right now.
How many times do you guys think we'll hear that?
In all of E3?
Microsoft alone.
I don't think maybe never.
Available now. Or are you saying all games or just Halo?
Games and services.
Okay, just any games and services available right now. I think we get
2 from Microsoft, because I think Xbox Game Pass will be one of them on PC.
I think we get 5 overall. Just not just Microsoft, like third parties and everything saying available now, whether it's DLC or games or services, whatever.
Okay.
Okay, so moving on. Joel, what's your second prediction for Microsoft?
I think that Halo was one of mine, but to change it up, I think that they're just gonna dive super deep into Gears 5, especially because they're having a Gears 5 tournament, I believe, at E3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're really gonna go dive deep into the story a little bit more, and then show us a bunch of gameplay.
Okay.
I hope that they don't do one of those cringeworthy things where I think it was last year or the year before when they had like an esports team on the stage or something and they were playing against each other. It's just like, oh, come on. Nobody wants to watch this.
I think you're thinking of EA.
Oh, was it EA?
Yeah, where they were like shoutcasting the mobile game for 15
that's
minutes.
what it was.
Oh, that was
That
bad.
was a nightmare. Oh my god.
I just want to see like 3 minutes max, 5 minutes maybe, of just multiplayer gameplay, show us some, like, a new weapon or something, crazy stuff, Gears stuff,
Right.
show us some blood.
That's cool. What is your prediction for the release date for Gears 5?
For Gears, I think it's going to be in October.
Okay, that's a safe one.
I think that it's got to come out, before the end of the year, and I think an October release is pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's before, the Call of Duty rush and everything.
Yeah, well, Call of Duty is end of October this year. So I would say Gears 5, probably first couple weeks of October, I would say would be a great spot for it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Connor, your second pick.
My second prediction. Oh boy. I'm going to go with... I'm going to say that there is some kind of trial and or demo or something of xCloud available same day.
Okay.
I think that's a stretch, personally.
I do too. But go on.
Just because...
Go ahead. Let him talk.
Yeah, sure. So, for xCloud specifically, if you've been watching their socials, there's been quite a few posts. We even talked a few weeks back about, I think it was Phil Spencer posted something on there, just congratulating the team on preparing for a widespread release of some shape or form, and maybe the safer bet is xCloud playable at E3 to check out the hardware or the I guess software in this case, streaming capabilities. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that we actually maybe get a limited demo of some sort to home release.
Okay, no, that's cool. I'm with Joel here though. I don't think that happens. I think if anything, they show off. So Phil Spencer has shown in the past, or has said in the past, that he's essentially playing console quality games on his phone while he travels on the plane, like all the time. He's been doing it for like a year now. Yeah. So I really think they show some gameplay on phones and then switching it over, kind of like they did with the Stadia announcement. Oh yeah, switch it here, it's ready to go, all that stuff. But I think if anything comes out of that, I think it's a sign up for the beta is available now, coming later this year, and then also fully releasing like end of year, maybe beginning 2020. What do you think, Joel?
Yeah, I think it's a stretch. I hope that it has the same day thing, because I would love to check it out, and see kind of what the future of gaming could be. But yeah, I don't think that it's possible, because I think that the last thing I saw was that they had like a take-home version ready for the team.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what it was? They were like cutting a cake for that.
Yeah, there was some big milestone they just hit. It was like I think it was what Connor was talking about. It was like a getting ready to release thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but either way, I think it would be a great move if they did do that, because it'd be like, hey, like we beat Google to the punch, and they'll be able to work out a bunch of kinks that Google might not have figured out yet.
Well, should also mention that Google does have a Stadia live stream happening sometime this week. It's like a couple
I think
days.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday.
So we should be getting a lot more information then. All right, my second prediction. I think Connor kind of mentioned it already. We get Fable 4. Playground Games is making it, although I don't think it is a 4 game. I believe it is a reboot of the series. Completely something new. At some point in the presentation, someone says a giant lie to kind of like make fun of Peter Molyneux. But besides that, I think it does not get a release date, but it is slated to come out next fall. But that is like a big dream because I miss Fable and I love Fable 2 and 3.
Yeah, me too.
So good. Okay, wish list. What do you want the most out of this conference, Joel?
I want Halo. I want them to break everything down from Halo Infinite. It's not going to happen, but I really, really wish they would just break everything down. Single player, multiplayer, everything. Show me what the collector's edition's going to be. Get me excited, man. I love Halo.
Yeah, that would be huge news. What would your wish list release date be?
What, release date?
For Halo Infinite.
I mean, realistically, or
yeah, a realistic, like they show everything, but they also give a release date. What day or when do you think that would be?
I think that if they show everything, I think it's coming out before the end of this year.
Ooh, okay, all right, I see you.
But if they don't show everything, it could come out, like you said, next spring or next fall.
Okay, yeah. No, I think there's a lot of people banking on it releasing next fall. The spring release date thing was kind of a prediction / wish list thing for me, but I think they could really surprise people with that announcement, and I think it would be a huge announcement, especially if the game looks great. All right, Connor, what is your wish list item for Xbox?
I want to see the controller.
The new controller, or
absolutely. I am a hardware whore. Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay.
And I just really want to see the new controller.
Okay.
Do you think there is a new controller?
Well,
absolutely.
Hold up. New controller for for Scarlet. You're talking about. You're not talking about a. Oh shit! What is it? Elite controller. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Just the whatever innovations they have. Similar account. They kind of handled the transition from the Xbox 360 to the One. They went pretty in depth and they talked about tons and tons and tons of stuff that they had adjusted and changed for the next gen. And they've had tons and tons of patents that have leaked over time. And granted, patents don't necessarily mean anything. I would love to see what they're working on. I just have always loved the Xbox controller. I feel like it's really the penultimate experience when it comes to comfortability on console.
I agree.
And I just really want to see what they do. Whether they make, do something crazy and make the Elite controller the standard, where you have the paddle options and all that other stuff, or maybe that's the baked-in controller for the higher level experience, which would be, I think Lockhart is rumored to be the higher of the two. I just really want to see what they're doing. And conversely, just to throw that out there, I would like to see what Sony's doing in that department too, though I would gauge that we won't see that till much later. But that's something I always love hearing about. It's very nerdy and very geeky, but definitely up my alley.
All right. What is like the biggest thing you want on the new controller?
It's got to have grips. Maybe some trigger grips. Even that's something that's kind of popped out in the scene, in the pro scene and stuff, a lot lately when it comes to conversation. And I think paddles, honestly, is the biggest one. We're kind of moving in the direction of paddles becoming the standard when it comes to a true full-fledged gaming experience. And maybe not the iteration of paddles we have now, maybe not so full-fledged for the base level release, but some kind of extra button functionality, especially when games are getting so big and complicated nowadays. I would just love to see them add in some extra stuff, especially for the developers. Gives them some extra options of what they can do. Coming from the original Xbox to the 360, we have the additional shoulder buttons, the LB, RB, and I would love to see some kind of big generational jump like this, some extra functionality.
Okay. That's cool, but that was the wrong answer. The correct answer was rechargeable batteries or rechargeable controllers.
Absolutely not. Nope, absolutely not.
Oh, yeah.
Nope. I totally disagree.
I do have a question. Do you think that Xbox One controllers and peripherals will work?
Yes.
With the new console?
I do.
I gotta say, to be honest with you, the business decision, the right business decision seems like no. But in the interest of Xbox kind of becoming more of a overarching platform instead of just a console, I think that maybe they would be willing to take the loss there. So it's possible, but I think the smart business answer is no, they wouldn't do it.
I think that they will be backwards compatible, and I honestly don't see them changing the controller at all. I could see them keeping the same controller for the next console, but we will see.
Yep. All right. My wish list item is I really, really want the Coalition to show off or at least announce whatever it is they are working on. This is the quadruple A studio that Microsoft built from the ground up. They've gotten a ton of talent from the industry. They have stolen so many people from Naughty Dog and Santa Monica studios. They are gearing up for something huge, and I really hope that we at least get something announced here. Obviously not gameplay or anything. I just really want just an announcement, a name of the game, show me the characters, just what's going on with it. I just really want to know what it is they are working on.
Wait, the Coalition, didn't they make Gears?
Or not Coalition, Initiative. That's it. The Initiative.
Oh, okay. I'm Googling right now. I was like, wait a second.
No, You're right, though. Coalition does have a new IP that they are working on. So there is some truth to those statements.
Dude, it's called Gears Pop.
Yeah. But no, the Initiative is the big studio that I really want to see something from. Just anything, and I would be happy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be really cool. And it would definitely get people talking about Xbox if they aren't already.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to Bethesda. This conference is happening the same day as the Xbox conference, but 4.5 hours later at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The only thing that we have heard from them is that Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield will not be here. But Joel, let us hear what you think will be there.
I think that they have to address Fallout 76 in one way or another, just because of how much backlash they got for the game when it was released. And I mean, I personally this past week probably put in a solid 15 hours of the game, just because my friends started playing again, so I started playing too, and I'm really enjoying it. But I think that they have to address the game in one way or another, whether it's, announcing maybe it's free to play, or maybe it's going to have a drastic price drop, or maybe they're going to announce some sort of roadmap for the game on stuff that they're going to add. But I don't know what they're going to announce about it, but I think they have to say something.
Yeah, no, I think they definitely go over like what's coming to the game and all that, but I think that is something that they try and just get over with and move on from. Connor, what is your first pick for Bethesda?
Andrew WK comes out on stage, sings to us about Rage 2 DLC for free.
Can we just go back on bringing him on the podcast?
You know what's going to happen.
Make me buy the game?
Probably not, honestly. This is something they've already kind of mentioned before, that Rage 2 has a content map that's out there. It features releases every single month. And I would imagine that they come out and just talk about some of those larger plans. The game didn't meet the success I think they were looking for, but overall it sold pretty well. and I can guarantee you we hear way more about that game than we should.
Okay. Yeah, I mean
that makes me sad.
Bethesda does kind of have a history of doing that. Like, we're gonna probably, even though the Elder Scrolls Online Elsewhere expansion is releasing tomorrow, I think, they're probably gonna talk about it a little bit, even though it's already out. So who knows? Okay, my first prediction for Bethesda is we get a new like phone game, kind of like a Fallout Shelter game, but not Fallout tied. I believe it's something that's Dishonored tied. I don't know what kind of game you make out of that or anything, but I think they definitely want to try and get at least, because they had a lot of success with Fallout Shelter, and I think Elder Scrolls Blades, is it called?
Yes.
I think that's
not even out yet. It's in beta.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, I know there's a lot of people excited for it. I think they definitely they go into that more than, since that's still in beta, but they definitely announced something new as well. Okay, Joel, what you got next for me?
I don't really have anything else. Because I don't know. Like they said that like 2 of their main titles are not going to be there,
right?
And I don't see them announcing in Fallout 5.
Okay.
So I honestly have nothing.
Okay. What about you, Connor?
other than my get hype.
My next prediction is all right. Imagine this. Okay. Mm-hmm. Todd Howard walks out on stage. Okay.
Gets taken out by a sniper.
Definitely not. He's got an important role to play here. He walks out and he says, we want to announce that today we're adding new functionality to Fallout 76. What's going to happen is when you collaborate with other players and drop the Pentultimate Destruction in the form of a nuclear weapon, this is how that scene will play out. It's going to cut to the Jumbotron. It's going to play a scene where a few different players put their keys in, they turn their keys, the nukes drop, everything goes white, and then boom, it's kind of rainy, foggy, you're riding along in a cart next to a horse thief, there's a guy with a wrap around his mouth because he can shout, somebody keeps saying something about the Dragonborn, you hear a dragon in the distance, and it's Skyrim. You're just fucking playing Skyrim. That's it. It's Skyrim inside of Fallout 76. You heard it here first, folks.
Oh, damn. I don't even know what to say to that. Okay. All right, moving on. My second prediction. Doom Eternal releases in September or October. We see a ton of gameplay on it. I wet myself a little out of excitement because that is the only thing I'm excited for from the Bethesda conference. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I've got because, I mean, we've already seen some gameplay on this. I think they just show off more, maybe some of the multiplayer, and then give an awesome trailer and give us a release date. And that's all I want because I want to play more Doom.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's going to be the big game they focus on this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, Joel, what is your wish list for Bethesda?
My wish list is that they'll tell me when I'm going to get my fucking canvas bag in the mail from my collector's edition.
Too good to be true. Won't happen.
Yeah. I sent in the request to get it and everything. They had me verify my address, and I have not received any word since.
Andrew WK is actually hand delivering every single one of those. It's going to take him a little while, so I expect a few more months.
He hands it to you, stabs you, and sings "Get Ready to Die" or whatever it is they sang last year.
I mean, there's only a few dozen of us who actually bought the thing, so
yeah.
I can't imagine it would take that long.
That's fair, yeah.
I'm sorry. Connor, what's your wish list?
So picture this. Todd Howard walks out on stage.
Gets taken out by a sniper.
No, so for Bethesda, I really don't know. I don't know that I have a big wish for this. I mean, my expectations are so tempered for their conference this year. To be honest, I'm not even sure why they're holding a conference. They definitely seem like one of the developers that could have just waited and not really lost out here. They have Doom, they have 2 Wolfenstein games, and that's great, but we've already heard so much about those titles. I feel like most of this conference is just going to be rehashed talking points on these different titles. So,
real quick, what's the second Wolfenstein title? I know the one with the twins.
Yeah, that one is Youngblood. The other one is Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. It's the VR title.
Oh, okay, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep. So, I've tempered my expectations so much for this that honestly my wish list is just for it to be over already, because I feel like I'm not going to glean any good information out of it.
Yeah. No, there's definitely been times in the past where I felt that about Bethesda, and honestly, I kind of feel the same way this year. They have their really big years, their really big announcements, and then they have their years. And they've only been doing this for a few years now, but they've already shown that they have really good years at E3, and then they have years where you're like, okay, we didn't need a whole dedicated thing for that. My wish list thing, though, is Doom Eternal gets crossplay and cross progression.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we just saw the big announcement with Call of Duty that it's getting crossplay. They did not mention cross progression, so hopefully that comes in the future. But I really think that Call of Duty is the big name that needed to be mentioned for this crossplay thing to be taken seriously. Maybe this is too soon for another big game like Doom to say that, but I think it's possible, and I really want it.
Well, I don't know if you've heard, but Bethesda is really, really good at developing online games. So
yeah, Fallout 76 shows that.
There's a possibility. I don't know. I really want crossplay and cross progression to be the focus this year. I know it's not going to happen.
I think that's really just a focus the next generation of consoles.
Probably.
And I'm fine with that, as long as we get there at some point. Okay, moving on. We have Ubisoft. They are holding their press conference Monday, June 10th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So far, they have announced that Skull and Bones has been delayed and will not be here. And also, they recently announced that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will not make a showing at E3 this year.
That's smart.
Yeah. So, Joel... Oh, I should also mention, we talked about this a couple weeks ago on the podcast, but they did announce that they have 3 games coming before March 2020 that haven't been announced.
That sounds right.
It was either 3 or 4. Joel, what is your first prediction for Ubisoft?
Okay, so picture this. Todd Howard comes out onto the Ubisoft stage.
A sniper takes him out.
No, I really don't have any predictions. The only one I would have had is Watch Dogs, but that kind of just got leaked right before we recorded.
Right.
So they're going to talk about Watch Dogs Legion, which apparently you can play as any NPC in the game, which is, I don't know how that works, but it does.
Yeah,
I didn't catch this.
Yeah, no, Connor wasn't here. Kind of explain the leak that's going on right now.
Let me look it up. So pretty much it just got leaked on Amazon UK, I think. I'm going to Google it real quick.
Okay.
But basically the leak, it just says that you'll be able to play as any NPC player in the game, and Jason Schreier retweeted it saying, "Yeah, I can confirm this is real."
But
yeah,
Jason Schreier is just something else, right?
Yeah, he knows so much. Like he could tell you everything that's gonna happen at E3 already. I guarantee it.
And that's the thing too, is that he doesn't always come out and say it. He just confirms or denies it. It's like,
well, yeah, I think with the Watch Dogs thing though, it could be something that maybe he had to sign an NDA for when he found stuff out about it, so he doesn't say anything about it. But then as soon as something leaks, he can just be like, "Yeah, this is real."
Mm-hmm. He tweeted, it wouldn't be the week before E3 without a big Ubisoft leak. Here's Amazon UK revealing Watch Dogs Legion, which lets you play as any NPC in the game. I can confirm this is real." So yeah.
Honestly, this is super cool. That's kind of exactly what I want out of a Watch Dogs game, is to just make my own fucking character. I don't want to play as the super boring one in the first one. The second one was better, but with the themes and stuff of the game, it would be real cool to just make your own or be your own, I guess. find somebody you like. So that's
I never
sick.
played the second one, but I did actually kind of enjoy the first one. I don't know.
The second one was
Something about it
so
alright.
much better.
But I think I'm partially biased because it was based in Chicago, so I could like
Fair.
recognize areas. But either way, I did enjoy. I mean, I guess the story as a whole in the first one.
Okay.
I thought it was a great first game in a series, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I didn't get past the first mission in Watch Dogs because I hit a bug where the police wouldn't leave me alone, and then I just rage quit and never went back. I was telling Joel before we started recording that I think it could be like some kind of mind control thing going on because it says you can play as any NPC. So I think you're just taking over their body for a little bit, and maybe they have their own dedicated player or their own dedicated character again for the player to play. I don't know. We obviously don't know until we see it. Connor, what is your first prediction?
Just Dance 2020, baby.
Oh boy. Okay.
That's the safest prediction ever. All right, so
yeah.
John, what is your prediction?
That's literally all I had to say about that
Yeah,
anyway. So move on.
We were moving on anyway.
Yeah.
My first prediction is that we get a new Ubisoft-made Nintendo game. So me and Connor were talking about this the other day, where we thought that it would be really cool if we see like a Ubisoft-made Star Fox game, because everyone really enjoyed those Star Fox missions in Starlink. So I think we see something like that. I don't think it is Star Fox because we just got it last year, and they just like. I think they're still gonna try and sell that, but something Nintendo related made by Ubisoft, something completely out of the norm, something we're not expecting. I couldn't even really tell you what it is, but it's gonna be something that maybe something with a character they haven't fully utilized lately. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess an F-Zero game.
Yeah, I think that a Ubisoft Nintendo crossover is a pretty safe bet, especially because Mario Cross Rabbids was such a success.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's a safe bet, and it would make sense for it to be on Ubisoft stage, just like that Mario Rabbids game was.
Yep, and gives us more chances to see Shigeru Miyamoto, which always makes me happy.
Yeah, we always get a meme out of it. Some
yeah.
sort of GIF.
Oh yeah. All right, Joel, what's your second prediction?
I think that we're going to see something about Trials. I mean, I know we just got a Trials game, but I'm sure that they're going to announce some sort of wacky, zany DLC like they always do.
Oh yeah, like a cat riding a unicorn.
Yeah, pretty much. In the same vein as that last one from the last game.
Yeah, with the guys
yeah.
coming out in bacon suits.
Yeah, man. What? They have some of the weirdest gimmicks.
They do.
Although last year they did have the dance or Just Dance. Sorry, they had the Just Dance one with like the marching band that started or whatever, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I could see that. Trials Rising is the newest one. I've enjoyed my time with it. I'd be happy with an add-on or just something new for it. Connor, do you have anything to predict for Ubisoft?
I think we're going to see some kind of partnership between them and Google Stadia. They have been pretty eager to jump on the stream train, and they have actually been a part of Stadia's test programs. I don't know if you guys saw, but back when it was still called Project Stream, one of the main games that you were allowed to try out, were you a beta tester, was Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
I think that was the only game.
Yeah, it was the only one. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I was a part of that, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I see
definitely
that
had its flaws, but
partnership kind of exploding from here, and them kind of going full out with this.
When you say partnership, do you mean like an exclusive Stadia game only?
I think that's not far-fetched. That's what I'll say. I don't know what it could be, but I think that that's absolutely possible. They seem, like I said, pretty eager to jump on the stream train and give that whole thing a shot, and I think it would be safe to say that we see some weird partnerships come out of the relationship between those two.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I got another question. I know that there's been some rumors going around that Ubisoft's going to have their own EA Access sort of thing. Do you guys think that that's going to be announced?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think we see that. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I was just curious of what you guys' thoughts were on that.
yeah. I think there was a leak for the name of it, right?
So I can't remember what it was. I just saw some tweets about it.
It might have been like Ubisoft Premium or something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was called, but yeah, I think we definitely see an EA Access like thing, especially with EA making the move to PS4. I think more companies try and make that move.
Ubisoft Pass is what leaked.
Okay.
If that's the name for it.
All right, so yeah, that'd be it. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. My second prediction for Ubisoft, and I'm kind of surprised neither of you said this, we get a new Splinter Cell game announced.
Well, that's part of my wish list.
Oh, it's your wish list. Okay. All right, then we can just piggyback right off of this. I think we get a Splinter Cell game announced, and I'm saying prediction, so I really do think it's happening, even though they said it was a joke. And I think it is coming next spring. What do you think, Joel?
I think that they should announce it so that people can stop fucking talking about it.
Right?
I've never played a Splinter Cell game, and it's so annoying to me when all these people are tweeting about one fucking game, and I'm just like, all right, cool. And it's been so long, and like I'm sure the games are great. I'm sure I would enjoy them if I played them. I just never have. So it's just frustrating to me when that literally my feed, like as soon as that tweet happened, my feed was all about Splinter Cell for like 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I do hope that they announce it and everybody can stop talking about it a week later until it comes out.
Yeah, no, I'd be okay with that too. Connor, what's on your wish list for Ubisoft?
I really want to see a new Assassin's Creed. I mean, it's pretty much a given at this point, but there's been several leaks and teases and rumors and stuff talking about it being supposedly set in the Viking era, and I think that would be pretty badass, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They've been kind of on a winning streak here with the Assassin's Creed stuff, especially since they went to the bi-yearly schedule. And if I'm not mistaken, this is an off year, so that's why this is not in my predictions, just a wish list. But I would love to see something like that, and I would love to see them lean a little bit heavier into that kind of choice and character customization like they did with Odyssey. I think it just made for a very, very good experience.
All right, no, that's cool. I personally don't think that they show any Assassin's Creed here, but there is always the chance that they try and like get ahead of it and everything. I mean, it's already leaked and there's been teases and everything. But no, I'd be very surprised if we see anything for that. My wish list thing, though, is kind of bringing back an oldie. I would like to see a Prince of Persia remaster, like of the older games. So, not a new Prince of Persia game, just a complete remake, Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon style thing here.
I think that would be a smart move,
right?
Because somebody like me, I never played a Prince of Persia game, but that's because I was younger when they came out and I didn't have the money. But I do know that people love those games, and if I went back and played those original ones, I would not enjoy it as much as if they remastered it and I got to play it. Because I think that they could use that as a way to gauge whether or not they should make a new Prince of Persia or not.
Or, okay, maybe I shouldn't say remaster. How about remake? Resident Evil 2 style. So, like, just something with, like, Assassin's Creed mechanics and everything in it, and just stuff like that. I think it would be really awesome. The only Prince of Persia game I ever played was I think it was supposed to be a reboot for the 360. It was a
shaded one.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I definitely didn't hate it. So, no, I think it would be really cool of Ubisoft to, like, because, I mean, I don't think people have been calling for it as much as Splinter Cell, but it's definitely been something that you hear it every now and then, and you're like, okay, there's a chance. There is a little bit of outcry there that would go for that, right?
So the big question is, which one? If you're going to remaster or bring one back, which Prince of Persia?
I think Sands of Time is definitely in there. That's definitely the big one that everyone really loves. In fact, it might just be that one. I was kind of thinking like a collection, but I think just focusing on that one, bringing it up to current day stuff and everything, I think people would go crazy for that, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those franchises that it's been so long just being dark and us not hearing about it that it would be super, super cool to see it come back. That cel-shaded game was really, really good, but I feel like it didn't capture the true heart and soul of the other Prince of Persias. And I would just love to see them do pretty much anything with that franchise at this point.
Yeah, no, I think remaking it or remastering it would be the perfect step towards gauging interest in that. Okay, moving on to Square Enix. They are also showing on Monday. They have taken Sony's slot, which they usually do, Monday, June 10th, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We do know we are seeing something from Final Fantasy VII here, and we also know that the Avengers is going to be shown off here. And also today, I need to pull that back up again, they were teasing a new game. 1 second. Outriders, yes. So it's the developers of the Final Fantasy series. They're going to be introducing a new game this month, as Square Enix has revealed that it will be debuting a game called Outriders at E3. It doesn't look like they really said anything on it. It's just this picture of this bald lady looking through like some rained on glass. I can't really tell what's going on here. Who knows what's happening there? Very Square Enix stuff. But that's what we know is coming. Joel, what do you think else is coming?
Yeah, I think along with that Avengers stuff, I think we're going to get a release date for the game. We know they've been working on it for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So I think that this is something that is probably going to come this year, if not next spring.
I think this year would be the perfect time to release it. Like, just get off that in-game hype. Like, sometime this year. I'm gonna say November. How about you?
Yeah, I think November is probably a safe bet.
Okay, and then
like I think late November maybe.
Yeah, right before Black Friday. I think. How about this then? Do you think it is a Destiny-like game where some rumors have been coming out?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know what it is. All I know is that I'm sure I'll be buying it day one.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Marvel's going to trust them enough to make this game, and they're still making the game, they must see something in it. Especially after how good Spider-Man was in the long run. So
yeah, I really hope it's not a Destiny-like game. I really just want a 4-person co-op adventure game. Crystal Dynamics, I love the Tomb Raider reboot series. If they can just give me a great, fun story game that I can play with friends, and I can choose what Avenger I want to be at for any mission, I would love it so much, and it's what I really want.
I think the co-op thing would be really cool, but I would perfectly be alright with it just having single player, like Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, me too. But we will see. Connor, what's your first prediction for Square?
I bet we see some info on Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC.
All right, this is actually my first prediction as well.
Cool, we can piggyback then. I think that it makes sense for them to talk about it here. We haven't heard anything up to this point other than the fact that it exists and it's something that they're actively making. And it just makes absolute sense to be shown here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no. I think this is something that I think they opened the show with Final Fantasy VII, and then this follows. Just kind of like given another trailer or whatever they're going to do for that, and then just being like, oh, and here's this thing. You want to play more Kingdom Hearts? Well, we're not going to make you wait 15 years this time for it. And then just... They had the Critical Mode release last month sometime. I never went back to that. I would just really want something, a new story or a side story, whatever you want, just DLC for it. And it's available in July or August, something like that. I think it is getting to be a while now that nothing has come out. I would be very surprised, and I would be happily surprised if they did a it's available now thing, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of weird that we haven't heard about it yet. So either it's bigger than we expect it to be, or they ran into trouble or something. That's a cynical take on it, but I think July, August makes sense.
Yeah, big time. Really quick, though, because I do want to check and see, is there any Kingdom Hearts concerts coming up? Because we know that they like to hold information until the concert, even on the week of E3. So June 8th and June 22nd. Okay, so those are the next two Kingdom Hearts orchestras. There's a chance we see something at that June 8th one. I don't know. I really want to see just something from that. Joel, what's your second prediction?
My next prediction... well, first of all, I think we're going to get a Final Fantasy VII release date, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just kind of a side thing. But I think that we're going to get another Go game announcement. You know, like Hitman Go or Deus Ex Go. I don't know what it would be, what franchise it would be, but I think we're going to get a new one.
I mean, those were pretty popular, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that they did pretty well for being a mobile game.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising that there hasn't been another one.
Yeah, it's been quite some time. Kingdom Hearts Go. There we go.
I would play it. All right, Connor, what's your second one?
For this, I'm gonna say we see some more ports. This is a kind of a strategy they've had for a little while now, of porting things to other platforms where they aren't. Final Fantasy X-10-2 recently hit Xbox and Switch. 12 Zodiac Age recently did the same exact thing. If I had to pick something specific, I would say Kingdom Hearts Story So Far, which is a collection of 1 and 2, hits Xbox and maybe Switch.
And Switch?
It's what I want. It's what I want so bad. Like, I just want that.
Yeah, they did say, if there's enough interest and Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts 3 sells well enough that's something they're interested in doing. So I see it as a easy win for them.
Oh yeah.
It's surprising that they haven't even done that yet. I thought if they were going to do it, it would have been before 3's release.
It would have made sense, right?
Yeah, but Square Enix never makes sense, so.
Yeah. Freaking Squeenix. My second prediction is a new Deus Ex game is announced. I know what's her name? Eidos Montreal. They just recently released Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and they are kind of helping work on the Avengers project. This might be a situation though where they just early announce it and we don't see it until like next year or something. I'm not really a big Deus Ex fan. I only played a little bit of the one on 360. I think it was Human Revolution.
Yes.
Okay. No, it has some really cool RPG elements to it and everything. Definitely some areas where it could improve. And I think Human Revolution, or what was the one on Xbox One and PS4?
Mankind Divided?
That's it.
Yeah.
That one got a lot of bad press, and there were a lot of people not happy about it. I think they bring out a new sequel for it, but we're not getting it anytime soon. Okay, wishlist, Joel, what you got?
So this is gonna be kind of weird, but I want to hear something about another I guess it's not project, but Octopath Traveler.
Okay.
I never played the first one. I played the beta or the demo that was on the store, and I've always wanted to play it, but that's a game that you need dedication to play, just because it's, there's a lot to it. But I love the art style of the game. I love the RPG aspect of it. I don't know. That's something I would love to see a sequel to, or I don't know if it even needs to be a sequel because I never played the game, or if there just needs to be something similar, maybe in the same universe with a different name. I'm not sure.
It is getting ported to PC tomorrow.
It is there,
I believe.
yeah, real soon.
Yeah,
This week,
so I wouldn't be surprised if we see like an announcement of it coming to the PS4 and Xbox One.
Taking a look at Octopath Traveler here, it actually looks like Octopath is getting a prequel that will be a mobile exclusive. Pretty
That
interesting.
seems like a terrible thing to do.
I agree. But
Yeah.
they, along with that announcement, from the looks of it, there is a sequel in the works. This looks like it was confirmed back in March. They didn't speak much about it, and it seemed like a very backhanded announcement. But I wonder if we see it. I wonder if we get a little teaser or something.
I would be really surprised if we do, if it was just announced in March that they were working on it. But who knows? We'll see. Connor, your wish list.
I know it's not going to happen, but I really want to see a new Final Fantasy announced. I could not care less about the 7 remake, and I am just so sick and tired of hearing about it at this point that I really just want to see something new. 15 was a fantastic game. I was super, super bummed when the rest of the DLC got canceled after the director had left the studio and kind of formed his own thing. Definitely felt like the game deserved a little bit better than that. But I would love to see a new Final Fantasy, or if we don't get a new Final Fantasy, kind of following the theme with the ports I was talking about before, I would love to see Final Fantasy 14 ported to Xbox.
Okay. No, that's cool. I don't really have anything to say on that because I only played a little bit of 15 and never played 14, but I know you're not in a minority there. I know there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans that are always ready for a new one.
Yeah, I agree. I wish that they would announce a new one, but I think we're still a few years away from them saying something. Maybe next year. But like I said, I loved 15, but I'm also excited for 7 remake. So.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of big Final Fantasy news always comes out of the Square show. So you're probably gonna get something besides Final Fantasy 7. But it could also be just like a what was that Chocobo game, Mystery Dungeon Everybody or something. Whatever. Moving on, my wish list. Connor mentioned it. Kingdom Hearts story so far comes to Xbox One or Nintendo Switch. I would kill for this. I just want it so bad. I want to play through those games again. I just love them so much. And I think it's the perfect time to announce that it's coming. Okay, so that takes us to our last conference. Well, actually, it's a live stream. The Nintendo Direct is happening on Tuesday, June 11th at noon Eastern Time. So we know that we're getting something from Animal Crossing. Pokemon is getting a Direct in a couple days here. So probably not a lot at E3, but probably something shown. And also, Luigi's Mansion is expected to get something announced here. Joel, what is your first prediction for the Nintendo show?
I think that we're going to see some of the future DLC characters for Smash.
Yep, that's a safe one. Who do you think is coming?
Waluigi, baby!
Get outta here.
Minecraft Steve? Maybe
You
Banjo
also get outta
Kazooie.
here. Yeah, that's my boy, Banjo Kazooie.
If they announced
They're the
Banjo
ones
Kazooie, it would blow up. It would break the internet.
Yes. Dude, I would break it myself. Like I want that so bad. Like I haven't bought the Fighter Pass yet because I never played Persona 5. I don't really care for Joker because I don't have a reason to. But if Banjo-Kazooie comes, oh my god, I'm buying that so fast, and I will be eagerly awaiting his arrival. Ugh, I want it so bad. Connor, your first prediction.
Animal Crossing gets heavily, heavily detailed and releases in November.
November? Okay. All right. Yeah. So when do you say Pokemon releases?
You know what? I'm going to give Pokemon the early one this year and say that we probably get those titles as early as September, to be honest with you, especially considering we're getting a direct detailing Pokemon a week before E3. It seems like they're just kind of getting that out of the way in time for the holiday stuff. So I think maybe we get that earlier and Animal Crossing later.
Okay. Me personally, I think we get Pokemon in November, but Animal Crossing, I think, a little surprising, I think that releases very soon. Like, I'm talking August or September soon.
Think so?
I think Pokemon's usually a October release.
Yeah, they are. October or November. But yeah, I'm going with Pokemon coming November. Animal Crossing, I think they surprise us, and it's coming very soon. They go into it huge here. Like, this is the main draw of it this year. And then they have another Animal Crossing focused direct as we get closer to it. Luigi's Mansion, I think, falls in October because that's a perfect time slot for that. But my first prediction is we get a completely new IP announced by Nintendo. So ARMS, Splatoon, those are recent IPs that have had varying degrees of success. Splatoon definitely more than ARMS. I think Nintendo kind of shows us something new, and I think Reggie comes out of retirement for one thing to show us this. Just like, hey, I'm enjoying retirement.
My body is ready.
My body is ready to show you this brand new Nintendo IP. No, that's kind of a wish list thing. But I really think that they show just something new. Recently, I saw that the GameStop system actually has a ton of Nintendo Switch games available for pre-order that are just available SKUs.
23 to be exact?
Yeah, there's a ton of them. And these are like full price games. They're not indie games. There was like even one in there with a $200 deluxe edition. So there are some big things coming to the Switch that haven't been announced yet because Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, and Pokemon, all of those are already in the system, so it's not those. These are things we have no idea about yet, and I think somewhere in there we get a brand new IP.
I think that's a safe bet. They've got a lot of stuff going on, but no like huge, oh my god, wow factors that they haven't already kind of described and or talked about. And E3 is traditionally a place that Nintendo usually has something in their pocket, even though that they're not as involved as heavily as the other companies. Usually they've got something going on. So I think you're right on there. I will say, just to add to that anecdotally, we do have that new IP from Game Freak called Town. I think is the working title. So I wonder if that gets heavily detailed as well.
Yeah, they announced that last year, and they haven't said anything about it since then. It's been only Pokemon, and as we mentioned last week, there's been a lot of Pokemon news over the last year. So, I would be very surprised if they don't go further into Town. Joel, what's your second prediction?
My second prediction is that Nintendo's going to go in deep detail about Mario Kart Tour, the mobile game that has recently been in beta. I think it's in beta until tomorrow in Japan. But I think they're going to go deeper into that.
Isn't it? For Android users?
I'm not sure.
I know there's some kind of Android thing going on.
I don't have an Android, so I'm not sure. But either way, I think they're going to dive deep into that and kind of give us, tell us why we should care about it.
Why we should give them all our money.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is something like, E3 is covered by, news outlets too, not just gaming news outlets. So, and being on a mobile device, like cell phones, that's a huge deal for most news. I don't know, for like the mainstream to see, oh, there's a Mario Kart game and I could play it on my phone. So I could easily see that being something like it's in beta right now. So I don't know, for everybody.
Oh, that'd be cool. I didn't get into the beta because there was like a very specific thing I had to do to get in, and I was like, not worth the effort. But I mean, I love Mario Kart. I'm definitely excited to give it a try, even though there's been some things about the game already that I heard that I'm not too keen on. But we'll see.
Yeah, something with the steering, I think, was weird, right?
Yeah. It's a bit odd, but we'll see when it comes out. Connor, what's your prediction?
Nintendo's always a hard one to even talk about, to be honest. They have such wild card stuff that happens at their events. If I had to guess on something else, I think that maybe we see a little bit more of an expansion of the partnership between Nintendo and Microsoft. I don't know in what format, how that shakes out. I don't think we see anything as crazy as Game Pass now available on Switch, but maybe just a bit of an expansion to...
There were rumors. There's a chance.
This is true. So I would like to see what comes out of that. I don't know that we get a lot of info there or any info at all, but that's something I would like to see, and it's possible.
Oh yeah. No, I'm definitely there with the if we get the big Xbox Live to Switch or Game Pass to Switch announcement, that gets followed with the Banjo-Kazooie or whatever. I think the second character is from a Microsoft thing, so I think that just goes hand in hand together, and they announce some really cool stuff there.
Yeah, if that happens, I also see them announcing the whole achievement system being available.
Oh yes. Let's go.
That would be fantastic. I'm super into that. Maybe even some other IPs making the crossover to the Nintendo platform. We had Cuphead already, which had a very, very tight relationship with Microsoft, even though it wasn't a first-party title. I don't know. Sky's the limit here.
There was a rumor quite a while ago that Ori and the Blind Forest was going to be coming to the Switch, so that is one we could see, and it fits right in there with the Cuphead kind of thing. That would be a perfect fit for it on the Switch. My next prediction is quite a while ago we saw some rumors about a Star Fox Grand Prix game that's supposed to be kind of like Diddy Kong Racing, and that Retro were making it. I think it gets announced here, and it comes out sometime this year, because I think they really just want to get it done with so they can focus full time on Metroid Prime 4. We just see it here, they announce it, give us a release date, and everyone gets all excited because Retro's making another game. That's all I got. Joel, what you got for a wish list from Nintendo?
For my wish list, I'm hoping for a Metroid Prime. I don't know what it would be called. Not necessarily, I guess, a remaster of the original 3. Yeah. Because, this has kind of been rumored in the past. I don't know if it was really rumored or if people just wanted it. Mm-hmm. But, with them announcing a few months back that the new Metroid Prime game is kind of delayed because they had to restart, I think that this would be a very smart move for them to get the name out there to the younger generation who have Switches now that never played those old ones.
Yeah, I never gave those games a try. If it came to Switch, I would give it a try really fast. I definitely would like to give it a try. I do think, though, that if they didn't announce it back then when they announced that Prime 4 was being delayed and completely started over on, I don't think we see it this year, if at all. I think I just don't see it coming if they didn't announce it then to give us some good news.
I think it's got to happen eventually, whether it's a remaster or if it's, I don't know, some sort of virtual console thing. But because think of how many younger kids have Switches. Why would they care about a Metroid Prime 4? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they don't have previous consoles. Because most parents nowadays, me, us three are gamers, our generation, but there's a lot of people that didn't game, and so they don't have these older consoles and these older games.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah, I think that would be cool because I would love to try those games out.
No, I'm in the same boat as you. I would like it. Connor, what is your wish list for Nintendo?
The number one thing that I want from Nintendo here, that I have been wanting and asking for however long the Switch has been out now, is GameCube.
A sniper to take out Todd Howard.
Yes, GameCube Virtual Console. I just want to be able to play all of the awesome games that are on the GameCube, on my Switch. It's a perfect fit. Just make it happen. There's so much good stuff in that library. I honestly toss around the idea from time to time of just going and buying a GameCube, but then I remember how expensive the games are, and so I don't do it. But I would love to be able to play some of the older Zelda titles, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I would just love to be able to dive back into that, and that would be huge. I honestly don't think we're going to get it, as they seem to be very future-focused, but that's my number one wish.
Yeah, no, this isn't going to be my pick, but I definitely wish for just Super Nintendo, Game Boy, N64, GameCube. I want all of them to come to the, whatever they're going to call it. It's not the eShop now, but I just want that Nintendo Switch Online service to just run all of those. It's what I want. Give me at least one of those, and I will be very happy this year. We've only heard thousands and thousands of rumors about it happening in leaks. Just give me something here, and I will be ecstatic. But my real wish list is something I think I asked for last year as well, and we're not getting it because we have Link's Awakening coming out this year. But I just want a complete collection of all the 3D Zeldas on my Switch.
Oh, yes.
God, it would be so amazing. I want that.
That would be great.
We're not getting it, but man, I want it so bad.
Give me Skyward Sword so I don't have to deal with the shitty motion controls and can just play the game the way God intended.
Yep. But yeah, I would run through Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask again. Wind Waker, I would go through that again. I have Twilight Princess for my GameCube. I just need to hook up my GameCube and play it, but I would play it through my Switch. Man, it would be so amazing to just have every single 3D Zelda on the Switch, and then in the future you can run another one where you give all the 2D Zeldas as well. Man, give me more Zelda on the Switch. I'm always asking for more. Oh, okay. This is kind of a final prediction thing for me as well. I think Cadence of Hyrule is releasing the day of the stream because I really want that game. And we know it's coming in June sometime. But do you guys have anything else to say on that? On Nintendo?
Not on Nintendo specifically.
Oh, man. E3 is a big show. I'm already tired just talking about it. I'm excited though. Let's get
the most
going, boys. I'm so okay. Before we sign off here, I know we are running a bit long here, but I just wanted to kind of bring up something with you guys because before I thought this wasn't possible at all. Do you think a Sony State of Play happens anytime around E3, like within the next couple weeks?
I think so.
I think so as well. What about you, Connor?
No. I'm going to say we don't get one, and I'll tell you why. Just to sum it up real quick, I feel like Death Stranding is something you save for a State of Play and talk about there. And with news of Last of Us 2 getting pushed back, I think that maybe there was a State of Play slated for this time period. But from the looks of it, it's probably been dispersed and disbanded, and I don't think we're going to get one.
Okay. But I'm kind of with you there as well, but I'm actually on the other end as well, where I'm like, they just showed off Death Stranding. Like, they could show more of it and then also bring out some more stuff and just have the surprise, hey, this Thursday, State of Play, here you go. It's just something I could see happening. Not really anything I want from it or anything. Just, I was very surprised that we got such a deep dive into Death Stranding and that it was coming this year. But, whatever. But that is the end of episode 63 of the Pixel Street Podcast, our E3 2019 edition. That was a very long show, and as you can tell from my voice, I am wiped out. Today, Connor Cup, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at TheRealBirch. That's Birch with no I, as well as Mixer. I stream from time to time under Birch, again with no I. I do have one final question for you, gentlemen, but I will save that for after your sign-offs.
Okay. Also, should point out, me and Connor were playing Splitgate Arena Warfare the other night. We should be playing it again sometime here soon, so definitely check out our his Mixer, my Twitch. Joel, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Campos63. Same with on Mixer, mixer.com/Campos63. I actually had a very successful stream the other day playing Fallout 76 because me and my friends went and dropped the nuke for the first time.
Nice.
So I had on average 20 people watching for like 5 hours straight, so it was a lot of fun. So yeah, go check out my Mixer stream there. You can find my writing on Culture of Gaming. So yeah.
All right. And I am John Hansen. You can find me at Revx Shadows on Twitter. I am covering a ton of E3 stuff for multiple sites. Culture of Gaming, where Joel's writing now as well. I will be doing live streams for multiple of those conferences. I am also covering the Nintendo Direct, the Pokemon Direct on Wednesday. So just check Culture of Gaming, check clubpenguinhero.com. I have a couple other sites that I'm about to start writing for as well. Lots of stuff coming up. Check my YouTube, Revx Shadows, or youtube.com/JohnJW92, where I should hopefully be putting up another E3 prediction video. But we will see. Connor, what did you have for us?
So as we sign off and we're in our final moments of this long podcast, I don't want you to expand on it at all. I just want to know a short, quick answer. What is your most hype, the game that you want to see the absolute most out of this entire week? What is it? And
that we know we're getting?
That we're aware of, yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Joel.
Halo Infinite, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you on there. Halo Infinite. Yeah, just Halo Infinite.
I'm going to go with Cyberpunk 2077. My body is ready.
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't talk about that at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think we just kind of expect that we're going to see a lot of it. But regardless, we're running really long here. Let's call it quits. Thanks so much for watching. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Go find us on any podcast service. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I'm John Hansen, Joel Campos, Connor Kopp. We're out.
Bye.
Love you.